And because they're in the dark, that football needs shown in the dark. And I think we saw a lot of footballs. Now, I think he became a billionaire because he listened. He listened very closely. So he says to me, he says, now let me get this straight. You're gonna like get up in front of each movie theater, and you're gonna like throw the little football? I said, no, sir. We run a commercial before each attraction. And he goes, okay, let me see your commercial. I said, well, I don't have one. But I was hoping you would make one. And he said, okay, let's go to the Cape. They called to film it. And took me down there, made the commercial for 2 years. He ran that Let It Football commercial, all the showcase cinemas. That's how that Let It Football got started. Then he gave me a list of all his friends from here to California, and he said, they should be doing the same thing. And if they're not, they're damn fool. So once that got going, I was able to go into the retailers. And those footballs were sold in sporting goods stores, college campuses, bookstores, mail order. I started a lot of my products. And that right there evolved into what is now going to be a new football. And this football, like that football, uses double batteries. This football uses chemiluminescence light sticks go right into the side of the football. And so when that football is spinning, it gives the illusion that the whole ball is totally illuminated. That's how it works.
How do you turn on?
I'm sorry?
How do you turn it on?
You put the chemiluminescent light sticks right in the grooves. There's a couple of grooves right inside the ball. So you put one 8-inch light stick on one side, one 8-inch light stick on the other side. So when that ball is revolving, it looks like to the human eye, the whole ball is on fire. That's how it works. So anyway, once that got going, people started asking me, well, how come you don't have this? How come you don't light up that? People want me to light up just about anything you can imagine. It's something I can't even talk about here, but I try to focus on the sports. And so the next thing I do is the light a wiffle ball. I went down the street to Shelton, Connecticut, and wiffle ball made me clear balls, not the normal white balls that you see. And the next one was a lighted badminton birdie. The next one, a couple of boys in Rochester, New Hampshire said, have you ever tried to find a black puck after dark on a pond? I said, well, I don't play hockey, but I hear your pain, and I'm sure that's difficult. So anyway, that's why I made it like hockey pucks. Now, like George just said, I love fishing, and my grandfather and I we fished Winnipesaukee for 20 years together. He taught me a lot, which I'll talk to you about. But anyway, I thought, well, what happens to a lake trout at 150 feet down? How is he going to see my lure? You know. So anyway, I took again chemiluminescent light stick, stuck it into this bait right here, and so then lake trout and other deep water fish can actually see the bait. It was working so good, I didn't want to tell anybody about it. I told a few friends, told them I'd kill them if they told anybody else. But eventually I did sell this, and I ended up selling all my lures to a Canadian tackle company, because I found out you have to have a whole line, you know, like 50, 100, 200 lures. You know, I only have about 6 for different designs. Then somebody told me that they're going to have an Easter egg hunt, but their 10-year-olds, they weren't showing up because it was boring. And I said, okay, well, we can do something about that. Why don't we just have a nighttime Easter egg hunt, light up the eggs? So that's how that works. Somebody said you should have a lighted beer mug before they were light beer mugs. And so I thought, oh, I think that's a piece of cake, I can do that. And just used a 3-inch stick, went right through the bottom. The beer or the beverage never touched the light stick inside, so it was all encapsulated. Some of you have the inventions, and I don't know if you know what the premium market is, but that's where you can put logos onto a product, and that's a whole different market in itself. But you can really get some good numbers there. Yukon Jack whiskey, when they introduced that product, Hugh Blind down at Farmington, Connecticut. They bought 250,000 of these things, and we imported Yukon Jack whiskey on the mugs. So you have to be patient. It's like fishing in the premium market, but you can get a pretty good hit if you're lucky. Like that little cake cutting device that you were showing, that could be a good premium. So eventually, a friend of mine said, "Hey, what about golf?" I didn't play golf. I was raised on baseball. I played baseball at the University of New Hampshire. And I said, "Eddie, that sounds pretty stupid to me. You're going to have golfers going out in the dark. How are they going to find the next hole? They're going to drive golf carts in the dark? I don't know. Sounds pretty dicey." He said, no, you don't understand. So I could finish the last couple holes when it gets dark, August, September, October. I said, okay, there's probably some logic there. And you golfers at all? Yeah, golfers. Oh, okay. So you know what he's talking about, right? So I said, okay, I tell you what, Eddie, I'll make you some balls at your house because we're having dinner next Saturday. And I'm going to make you some balls. This one right here, okay, that's what I made for you. And the first one is a prototype of the first time I actually had a round sphere that was spun out of polycarbonate. So anyway, after dinner, Eddie goes out, he hits those balls, and he's like a 10-year-old at Christmas. He's like, "Oh, mackerel, this is fantastic." And I said, "Well, that's great, Eddie. I'm glad you're happy. You know, have fun." Well, he calls me Monday, he says, "Corky, need more balls." And I said, "Eddie, if you notice, I made 12. You have 12, it means I got 0. He said, "No," he said, I'm serious. All my friends need these balls." And I said, "Well, I'll make you another dozen when I get time. How's that?" He said, "I'm telling you, if you're smart." I remember how he said it. He was working at IBM, he now works for Google. He's a pretty smart guy. He said, "If you're smart, you'll start making light golf balls." So anyway, I thought about it, and I went down the street to Chelmsford after I sent out to just about every molder in New England that I could contact. I found a smart guy. His name was Dave Kinsman. Fortunately, Dave just passed away, but for over 20 years, Dave made millions of those lighted golf balls for me. And we had all kinds of problems initially, just like any one of your ideas. I know you're going to run into problems. You just have to say it's just part of the territory. You have to hit those one at once also. What's that? So we were actually molding Easter egg looking balls. They don't obviously putt very well. We had spaghetti lines in there. We had bubbles. It uses a light stick that goes in. When the light stick went in, it would fall out. We get the light stick in, it wouldn't come out. Just minor problems. They're going to be big problems in the marketplace. You know what I mean? Anyway, 10 months later, even though Dow Chemical, who sold us the urethane, they said, "You'll never mold a part that thick." Well, those are the engineers at Dow Chemical saying, "Boys, you're shooting in the wind, not going to happen." So David, being a smart engineer, he said, "Look, why don't you guys make the stuff and we'll concentrate on making the balls and we'll see what happens." So 10 months later, at the PGA show in Orlando, I introduced the first lighted golf ball. Now, going back to Eddie's original concept of finishing the last couple holes, nothing really went in that direction. All of a sudden, the golfers, when we start playing, it gets dark. And I'm going, "Oh, mackerel, I got to listen to this because this is definitely what I wasn't thinking." I mean, I wasn't even thinking about lighted golf balls originally, like I said. So anyway, I thought, okay, the horse isn't going to run this way. The horse is going to run that way. I'm going to ride that horse that way. So I put all my ad dollars going into promoting night golf tournaments. That's how they ended up being thousands of tournaments in 82 countries. One year, Governor Judd Craig up in Concord, he gave us the New Hampshire Exporter of the Year award because we exported so many golf balls. I didn't even know they had those kind of awards. It was pretty funny. I was at a show and my wife went down to get the award, but I thought, okay, great. So anyway, fast forward, we're trying to make a Cadillac golf ball. Okay, now some of the complaints on these balls were, damn things don't go more than 200 yards, you know? But they're all having fun. They're all drinking beer. Of course, it's making money. So what the hell? You know what I mean?
Right.
But being an inventor like you are, you want to go to the next step, right? You want to try to make, if you had a Chevrolet, you want to try to build a Cadillac now. So about 3 years, we finally did the thing. And these are called light from nights. All right. Pass these around. And the way it works is we impregnated the surlin with a pigment and used UV light. And the reason you use UV light is it will charge the molecules in the pigment better than white light. White light will do it, but it won't be as bright. Okay. So now I went out and because people said the ball was going with it, I mean, you only went 200 yards. You know, this the original nightlight ball. I said, I'm going to show them up real fast. I'll get somebody who knows how to hit a golf ball. So if you look on the back of that package, I got Kevin Bullard. He won 9 long drive championships. Okay. And he hit that 400 yards. So when somebody says, does the ball travel? Say, those 400, what do you hit? The average hacker might hit 250, maybe 280. Most of PGA players, you know, don't hit over 300. So anyway, that's now the new ball. So once COVID hit, I kind of thought, man, I'm not getting on airplanes. I'm not going to trade shows. I gotta kind of change horses here, right? I'm gonna make this stuff for somebody. I don't know who, but I just want to make the stuff, ship it into this gentleman's warehouse, and let him fool with it. Okay, that seems a lot cleaner to me. And I don't have to worry about it. So anyway, I mail out to 700 CEOs and vice presidents of marketing, director of sales in the golf industry. Okay, now I'm going to tell you, what would you think would be a good return on 700? 5 of them, 5%. 5%? 5%. That's 35 versus 5 versus what?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like a couple percent on our first mailing, usually, right?
Couple percent?
Yeah.
I'd say one, yeah,
What'd you say?
one.
There you go. You win the 100 grand right there.
That's not quite, but.
Right. However, the moral of that story is it only takes one. Okay. So I ended up with Izzo Golf Company in upstate New York. And Izzo was a progressive company. They were always looking for new additional golf accessories. So the VP of marketing goes, hey, that sounds pretty cool. Does that really work? And I said, well, you know, the bears camp out the woods. Yes, it does work. You know? So he says, all right, I'm a golfer. This is him talking. Send me some balls. Let me just see if you're telling the truth. I said, I always tell the truth, except maybe to George, but fishing, you know. So he says, send some balls up. So I do, and they go out there with all the pros, did the course, felt the balls, and going, calls me back, he goes, these balls are good, you know, they light up. I said, that's amazing. I didn't know that, but bottom line is that now Izzo is shipping this week to 2,452 Walmart stores. So this is their package. I think it's Cadillac package.
Right.
There's 3 balls in here with charger, just like I showed you in my own dozen pack. So the moral of that story is, when you're going out there and you're hunting in the woods, trying to catch a big one, you just got to keep on casting. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's going to be a pain in the neck. It really is. I'll talk about pain in a minute here. So Now they want to go ahead and see what else I have. All right, so I've got some other golf widgets, I'll show you here. So that's about where I'm at on my golf. Now I want to tell you a couple things before I go into my newest one. And does anybody play Little League baseball? I know ladies don't say no.
I watch a lot.
Okay, or high school baseball? Okay. So, you know, maybe not so much a Little League unless you're up against some phenom, you know, Jonathan Papelbaum was pitching against you or something. Or Roger Clemens. The hardest thing to hit in baseball is a curveball. We call them breaking balls, okay? The breaking ball is curveball, screwball, sinker, slider, riser. So being out of college, I didn't in a minute when I was in college. I started working on, okay, well, how could I make a ball curve? How could anybody make a ball curve? Not just, you know, some athlete or pro player, okay? So I made almost 60 different versions of my prototypes, and some of them were good. Not good to manufacture, but they did work, okay? The most simplistic was these two right here. Now, these balls are 100% by weight, all right? Even though it's about 10% missing over here on the curveball, and this is a slider. Slider doesn't break as much as a curveball, as you may know, okay? Looks like a fastball on the way in. And this idea was pretty interesting because you think of millions of kids who play baseball, not to mention all the pro players. I think they said the other day 20,000 major leaguers play the game. A lot of people have tried various things, just like wiffle balls, but nobody came up with official size like baseball that anybody could curve. Okay, so I was catching with Carlton Fisk one day down at my college, and Carlton used to work out at UNH before he grew up spring training with the Red Sox. Carlton said, "You didn't invent that, Corky." He said, "I did," meaning Carlton. And I said, "Oh, okay, so how do you figure that?" He said, "Well, every afternoon in the fall, my brothers and I would go to Old McDonald's apple orchard. We'd strip a whole apple tree, climb up there, break it, take every single apple off that tree. Then, you know, we would take a knife and we would take that, all those apples, cut all those apples, slice them right on down." He said, Calvin, one of his brothers, he said, "Calvin, I went low and away, I went high and inside, went deep inside, high outside, middle. He said, "That's how I learned to hit the curveball." So I said, "You know, it's probably true, Carl, no doubt about it. While you and your brothers are out there making applesauce, I was over here in Manchester, New Hampshire, spitting out those automatic curveballs." That's how it worked. So moving on, I can show you 30 seconds of each one of these items here and how it came to be. I think like a lot of times the ideas are like, they're just like floating around. One lady said she manifested, I guess she's not here right now, she manifested the idea. And I believe in that. I believe if you say things that you want to see come true, they actually come true. And now some people say that's voodoo, focus, focus. I don't believe that. I really don't. My grandfather was a minister, Episcopalian minister. So I learned a lot about how things should come to pass. So I just birdied. Now I do play golf. Fast forward. I just birdied the last hole at a course. So I'm leaving the course and I'm thinking, wow, man, that was a great 18-foot downhill side hill putt to get that birdie. Bam, a bird flies into my windshield, just like that. I was thinking, did I manifest that bird? What the heck? But I did manifest an idea because I thought, wow, birds, birdies, flying birdies. Oh my God, it's a golf course. Flying birdie golf ball. Flying birdie golf balls. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it now. Flying birdie golf balls guarantee birdies every time, right? If you made them out of bird seed, they would. So we actually went and we made a mold And we had a rotational bowl. It was going from this gentleman here all the way over to that gentleman there in the white shirt, over to George, like that. So it was a rotational molding machine. So it dropped the bird seed down, a great big hopper. It shot the glue, not harmful to the birds, into the molds, pressed them, out popped the bird seed couples, just like that. So my point is, I think a lot of times these ideas are right there, and you're looking at them, but maybe you're not quite in focus. You know what I mean? Not quite in focus, but somebody else is in focus, and that's the person that takes the idea to the next level. Just like that Henry gentleman right there. Okay, how many contractors are in the USA, and they're all cursing? What the hell are we gonna do with this closet now? You know, Mrs. Jones is gonna kill me when she sees this 2x4 I just made. You know, just a heck of an idea. I mean, that thing should sell millions. I really think so. So going down the line, this is called a big shot golf ball. It's kind of like softball, baseball. Softball's a bit easier to hit than baseballs, right? So if you make a golf ball bigger, then your daughter or son, you know, they're 4 or 5 years old, where they're starting them, they actually get the ball airborne instead of saying, "Oh, yeah, I ate this for it. Let's go fishing." You know what I mean? Now she actually gets the ball elevated. She goes, "Oh my God, Dad, can we play Saturday again?" That's the idea. These are called the one putts at black diamonds, and this is red here. This came from the outside. Okay, I did not invent this. I did package it. I sold the daylights out of it. Okay. Now the PGA Tour players have a little cap they stick on the ball. They trace it with a magic marker. Probably seen it on TV. Okay, well, this was the same idea before that idea came along. So with the red, it was easier to follow. That was a practice ball, but you wouldn't use it on course. And then the black diamonds turned to a solid black line. Okay, so you would know if you play golf, if this is going this way, okay, or this way, you would know that you're coming inside out, or outside in. You would have that automatic feedback. So I mean, that's why the PGA Tour players put these on there. This right here is called the bird golf ball. This ball right here only goes about 30 yards with a wedge and about 50 yards with a driver. So you can actually hit this in your backyard as long as you had 30 yards. So you're hitting a real ball, it's not hitting foam balls or balls attached to cords, balls attached to a liftable device type of thing. This is called a money ball, guaranteed to make all your shots right on the money. And you drive for show, you putt for dough. This is the forever ball. This is a hot ball that's illegal, but they were very popular. I was the first one to put them in a retail package. I just looked for like little niches, you know, along the way there. I played tennis, and it always bugged me that people would argue all the time. Okay, and they're going, "Is that in?" No, it's not that out. It's 15-40. No, it's not. It's 40-15. 30-40. No, it's not 40-30. You know, it's driving me nuts. Some people lost friendships because of that. You know, so I found probably September last year. I'm gonna end this misery. This has got to stop. So I come up with what's the scorekeeper. What it is, it's like a dampener. I've got 6 little mini tennis balls on here. And you put that on the bottom of your racket, the last string set, that you can move this any combination score just by moving the mini tennis balls in the direction that you need to record the score. So that will shut up everybody as far as our arguments are concerned. You know what I mean? Even the cheaters out there. I had a newfie, his name is Corky, he's 196 in his prime, Newfoundland. Oh, from newfies.
Yeah.
He loved hockey, not with a real puck, but we fill up a margarine dish with water, freeze it. And my parents had a big porch, and we go out there and we play hockey. I always use a hockey stick, we use paws. But one day, it was a hot day in August, probably 80 in New Hampshire, it's hot for us. He sat down, he ate the puck. I said, "Orby, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, it's hot, I love ice, and it's good for my teeth." He was still a puppy, he was only like 125 at the time. And he said, "Check with my vet." So he did. And the vet told me everything you read on the back here. And this I came up with Icebone Pup Sickles. Now I had to change the name to Icebone Pup Icicles, okay? Because you're not gonna believe it's popsicles. You know what those are, right? Popsicles lawyers came after me and said, you are infringing on our trademark. And so my lawyer said, let me get this straight. You're now selling popsicles in pet stores and to veterinary clinics? Well, we might. So Yardley, MIT graduate, he said, look, Corky, just change the name. He said, you don't want to mess around with these guys. So even though this says Icebone Popsicles on it, I changed it Icebone Pup Icicles. So here again, I wasn't trying to invent something. I was just out there with my dog, and that's how it happened. So Tiger Woods came out, 20 years ago, and came out with a book called on 5 Lanes Down the Street. It's gone now. It's probably been a 5 lanes basement, So I thought, that's pretty cool. So you got a tiger that's big in golf. And so if I put tigers on golf balls, it's gonna be good. So that finally inspired her. She was a little smart. She put the jumbo balls right next to Tiger Woods books. And that was the first sale I ever made on these balls. So this became like the pet rock for golfers. Sold in all pro shops. We used to have golf day right here. They're gone. The bottom balls that are gone. I got a list of about 15 accounts just in the window that are gone. So there's less fish in the same pond to catch. So you gotta be smarter. So anyway, these jumbo balls unleash the tiger in you, and you'd be happy to hear that the official Skin Games got ball. So I was working on lettuce softball because I was at Coors Beer. Coors Beer said, "You get us a softball. We put more money into beer league softball." This is my attempt, and that didn't succeed, at least yet. But this was same weight. You use a 4-inch light stick with the cap that we had in here that screwed in, kept popping out. Now you can imagine, if you're playing shortstop, somebody hits a rock at you, the stick goes that way, but the ball comes this way. It's not gonna be good for me. So we're working on this with pigment now, okay? So I can't say we have it because we don't, but I do know what we did with those golf balls that are floating around. And I do believe that we can make a pigment softball that will be super, super bright. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave my pickleballs alone for a second. So this was interesting. Did anybody play tennis? Okay. You ever heard of Bobby Riggs at all? Yeah. All right, it's Bobby. He played Billie Jean. I was working for Sonesta Hotels at the time, not my hotel, but I was the sales manager at was in Houston. So I went to that match, pretty cool. But anyway, I lighted tennis balls, made the front page of the Wall Street Journal. And the editor of Tennis Magazine called me up. They said, "Hey, if you're having a little party, why don't you come on down? Got a bunch of pros, bring balls, it's gonna be great." I said, "Great, that sounds like fun. I'm gonna be able to get this thing off the ground, So I was checking in the hotel, and the front desk attendant said, "Well, have a nice day, Mr. Riggs." And I didn't know about Riggs, but when I heard that, I thought, okay, this I might as well give it a shot, you know? So I go up to him, I said, excuse me, Mr. Riggs, my name's Corky Newcomb. And I go, I had a tennis ball like the sun tip out. And that was the response. Turned away, walked away. Oh, that didn't quite go over where I wanted to. But anyway, that night we're out there, 5 or 6 grass courts there. They had 10 or 12 pros. And I'm right in the middle, never forget, right in the middle of my forehand, okay? And somebody grabs my bicep right here. He goes, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? And it's Riggs. He goes, you didn't tell me these balls slid up. I said, well, yes, sir, I did. I tried. But she didn't listen to me. So he said, well, listen, we got to have breakfast together because we got to talk about this. I'm a big promoter. This is Riggs telling me. I'm a big promoter, and you need to have me on the packaging. So that taught me a lesson that sometimes, even though you say you have this UV suntan lotion that's going to prevent skin cancer, people may not be listening. Or the CEO goes, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do lunch in August, okay? I'll tell you up right now. So somehow you have to get your idea across that basically stops them in their tracks. And sometimes that's difficult. That CEO, VP of marketing, they're going 9 ways to Sunday, you know, they don't have time to breathe, let alone talk to you. So that's how, by the way, Bobby Riggs, first class, he treated me really nicely, had a lot of stories. And we sold a lot of balls. It's pretty good. In conjunction with my lighted golf balls, somebody said, hey, it would be great to light a putter. So we molded this head around real putters. We have a light stick, 3-inch light stick goes right inside. And the whole putter blade lights up. So now you can actually see the angle that you're at when you line it up. That's how that worked. So we're selling martini, wine, I think margarita glasses that lit up at the tournaments. By the way, I didn't tell you, we light up the course and light the players. Players like wear necklaces, they wear bracelets. We light up the golf courts. We light up the tees, the yardage markers, the flag pin, the cup, semicircle in the northern hemisphere of the green. So any balls coming in, bump and runs, don't hit the sticks. Okay, that's how they do it. So you probably, if you remember, you played the course several times. You don't have to. You already know what the 8th hole is. It's a dog leg left. You know what I mean? So we're selling the margarita wine glasses, and I thought, she's selling golf ball glasses because we're actually having light golf tournament. So anyway, that's how I did tea time golf ball glasses. And it's a little LED. That one doesn't work because I showed it 8 times. I've left the battery on, but it oscillates 7 colors. So if you got red wine, you light up red. You want to do Christmas party, you got green. 4th of July, white, blue, you know. When I was playing tennis against this guy who played, don't want you to get the wrong idea, I'm not in this category, but I was playing this guy, he had taken a set off of Ida Glendale, who's one of the big name players. Anyway, his serve blew my racket right off my hand. I still can't believe it. Just boom, you know. So I thought, man, I got a weak grip. I gotta do something with that grip. You know, so I was thinking, okay, so I took a Prince tennis racket, cut the first 8-9 inches off of it, made a mold on that, shot it with urethane foam. I could use it driving, watching TV, talking to somebody on the phone, you know. So I got this guy, Dennis Vandermeer. Fortunately, again, lost a really nice guy. But Dennis, he was probably one of the best teachers in USA. You know, anybody who knows tennis knew Dennis Vandermeer. He sent a lot of people on the PGA Tour, tennis tour. So again, those ideas happen so fast. If you're just looking, all of a sudden, yeah, you're driving down the road, and yeah, maybe you're thinking, oh, it's my wife's birthday. What am I going to get her? All of a sudden, there's some light flashing, red, white, and blue, and now you're thinking about doing some kind of 4th of July product that came out of nowhere. You were thinking, what do you want your wife? That's how fast the mind can work. After we did my way golf ball, I was thinking, you should be able to see a golf ball in your house, because if you did that, I could get in your brain more faster. You know what I mean? And that way, I would be, you would think about night golf all the time. So I did, and not the nightlight golf ball, I did the golf ball nightlight that you plug in to your bathroom. So when you're in the bathroom at night, you're gonna go, oh yeah, that's right. We should be having another tournament. That's how that worked. You know, probably had Super Bowls as kids, and youngsters. But anyway, Whammo made Super Bowls, and made Frisbee, made the slingshot, hula hoop. So anyway, those Super Bowls were cool. You drop them, they bounce like crazy, boing, boing, you know. So I thought, I'm gonna make a Super Bowl baseball. And this way, I mean, George has a son, plays a real high school baseball, but he can't keep hitting 300-foot fungos with a bat. But now, all you gotta do is just touch this ball, boom, the thing takes off, looks like David Ortiz out there, you know? So that's called a major league lawn ball. Now, the only thing I found out, I had to warn coaches, to warn the players not to use it for infield practice, because it would be hitting the green monster before the third baseman blinked. That's how fast it's going out. So I always said, this is for outfield practice only. Don't use it for infield practice. You know what I mean? Now, this one was brought to me again by a friend, no longer here. And he's like, Corky, let me just tell you, I think this thing will work for you, because you have a market that would be great, because people use golf balls. I said, what's this do, Kenny? He says, this will find anything you want. Anything you want that's lost. I said, I don't believe that. He said, no, really, think about it. The British were using it to find the Minutemen hiding behind stone walls and trees over in Concord, Lexington. Really? He said, Vietnam, they were using them to find the DC, the Viet Cong in the tunnels. I said, no way. He said, oh yeah, you do your homework to find out. So anyway, came up with finders, keepers, ball detector. And then one night we're down in a bar down in Orlando, PJ Show. I was showing guys how this works, you know, single guys, because they were saying, could you pick up girls with that? And I said, I don't know. Well, let's just assume that you were looking for a girlfriend or a wife. So what happens is, come up called a matchmaker. So if you were walking down and I wanted to say meet Julia, I would just walk past her with the wand. I would think about blonde hair, and this wand is going to just turn right to her. And then she would say, how come your magic wand is pointing at me? And I'd say, because there's chemistry in the air. We need to sit down over dinner and talk about it. That's how it works. Now, I know you're probably thinking, no way. No way. But I guarantee it works.
The distinguished player.
This, I told you, my wife flying over there, had pigeons flying over my car one night up in my Portland, Maine at sunset. I was thinking, I love shooting clay pigeons. My grandfather and I used to do it all the time when I went to soccer when it was frozen. Anyway, I was thinking, don't think bad of me, ladies. If those pigeons were lit up, it would be like crazy. You know what I mean? Obviously, the Humane Society would come after me. So I didn't do pigeons, but I did do the nightlight flying over. It was a circle of light. We put them on the golf course. Okay. In Japan, you're not gonna believe this. Again, no offense to ladies, but the Japanese ladies would put them on their breasts in the nighttime tournaments. American women must be too conservative, because I've never seen that down here. But they send me videos of how they could light up Japanese women. So I never advocated that. So don't. You did not hear that from me.
And the object of that would be what?
This is called the highlight space disc. I did not invent this, but I did package it, I did market it. This is called a double disc. This is 2 discs in one. And you throw them and they split like this. So if you have 2 kids, one kid catch one kid catch the other. So we actually set up contests where you would see, like, say from here to Joe, I think, right there. And Joe and I would just see how many we can get in a row. And there was some phys ed teacher from, I think, Seattle, Washington. It was something like 272 times. It was crazy. You know, with its, well, hard. Amazing. So I saw a perfume and cologne and it was going for $80. And it was in the golf shop. I don't remember the name, but what impressed me was the packaging. And I thought, that's kind of a Mother's Day, Father's Day, anniversary, birthday, Christmas type thing, you know? So I decided I would go in Rotary Clubs, Lions Clubs, churches, schools. I try to pull various names, test various fragrances. And anyway, the winners were Rival Wild and Tees. And these had a little electronic gut ball on top that you record a message for your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, that type of thing. So right now I'm just trying to farm this out, like some of my products, find a home for that. So my daughter and I, daughter Sarah, she's a struggling actress in Hollywood, but she comes home and goes to Red Sox games, loves baseball. So she said during the game, Dad, I want you to introduce me to Johnny Damon. I said, Sarah, I don't know Johnny Damon. And I guarantee you, you're not going out to dinner with Johnny Damon because that's not happening. In fact, I think it's married. So forget that. We'll just watch a game, everything fun. Bug me the whole game. I don't know if you have daughters, but if you do, probably know a little bit about how that works. So anyway, into the 8th inning, I was not thinking about this, but I said, Sarah, I know how to take, you can take part of Johnny home with you. She said, great, Dad, thank you. How you going to do that? So we put electronic chip recorder inside baseball. And then Johnny could say, well, Sarah, I really would like to go out with you, but the only reason I'm married. You know what I mean? Dad, that's the dumbest idea for her. Really. Anyway, I decided I'm going to test it. And I went into schools, I went to baseball teams, and I said, let me ask you a question. If your son just pitched a 2-hitter and hit a home run in the 9th inning of the game, and his grandfather was there, and he recorded and said, well, Bobby, that was the best game I've ever seen you pitch. And that home run that you hit in the 9th inning to win it, that was a hell of a lot. Love you, Grandpa. And maybe Grandpa's gone 20 years, 30 years, whatever, but he pushed that button on that baseball. There it is. There's grandfather time. Now that's pretty priceless. So anyway, talking autograph baseballs, talking autograph hockey puck, talking autograph football, and I think this could be a good fundraiser for some of the sports teams, like leagues. So I decided maybe I'll give it a shot. So I just happened to be at the PGA show. Yeah, I didn't know anybody. And it said in the next 5 minutes, 4 NFL stars will be talking about golf. Seminar. I was thinking, what are the NFL guys going to say about golf? That didn't make much sense, you know. But I thought, what the heck, I'll go. It'll be fun. Maybe I'm home. I didn't know, but I knew of it. So one was Jaws, football, Ron Jaworski, he was quarterback for the Eagles. One was Thurman Thomas. And one was Beasley Reese, who played 9 years in the NFL. Beasley is the CEO of the NFL alumni. Their job is to raise money for not only NFL players, current and former, But there's number one charity, it's called Caring for Kids, raise money for kids, have no food, no homes, no place to sleep. That's the number one charity. So anyway, I went up to Beasley after, because he said, anybody have any fundraising ideas? I went, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Talk to me. So I did. I went up and I said, hey, Mr. Reese, I got these talking balls, and I think there could be a double play here. He goes, do you have a football? I said, no, I don't, but I can make one. He said, well, when you make one, call me. So anyway, I made this ball here, and it's got a little record on it. And then he said, I like this idea. I like it a lot. I'd like to get Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre to record their voices inside these footballs, autograph them, put the photograph on the back right here, and then I'm going to sell them for big money. I said, okay, I'll make you a white NFL official size football. And once you show this around, let me know. So he now has those. And I can't say we told him yet because I didn't, but he's telling me he definitely likes it.
Hi, Jim. You're the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks. Your goal is to score as many TDs as possible. Run like hell. Best of luck.
There you go. That's how that would work. This is just my prototype. So
That's you talking?
yeah. So please be careful. So anybody play pickleball? Yep. All right. Now, being a tennis player, I heard some people saying that they played pickleball, but I never saw pickleball. I mean, I didn't know exactly how they did it. But I was taking a tennis lesson down in Fort Myers, March of 2020, right before, actually right before I went to Beasley Reed's office in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And New Jersey got hammered like 10 days later. I was lucky getting out of there. But anyway, I was taking a tennis lesson down in Fort Myers, and really nice guy, named Billy McGahee. Billy used to GM of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the NHL team. Okay. And he also was GM of arena football team. I think it's called the Nashville Predators. But anyway, he runs Fort Myers Racket Club. So he said, what do you do? I said, well, I'm trying to invent sports stuff. He goes, really? And I said, like what? I said, well, I lit up a bunch of balls. He goes, well, you should do a pickleball. I said, okay. I'd like to see what a pickleball looks like first, because I've never even seen one. He goes, wait, you crazy? This reminded me of Eddie Orchard back in my like golf days, when he's telling me to light up golf balls, you know? So he says, I'm telling you, this is the fastest growing sport in the USA. So you gotta be kidding me. I'm in the sports business, I should know this stuff, because I'm telling you, if you're smart, oh my God, that's what Eddie told me 45 years ago, if you're smart, you should start making light pickleballs. Anyway, went home, March of 2020, started doing my homework. I found my prototype makers, found my factory in China, and all of a sudden, I'm in the lighted and the non-lighted pro ball pickleball business. So this is called a 24/7 pack, combo pack. It's got a lighted ball, which lights up with a chemical light stick. It's got a pro ball, which Billy told me a problem with pro balls right now, like Franklin or Ted, Han, Wilson, some of these others, they're too loud. In some areas have banned pickleball because of that. Okay. He also said balls don't last very long, like especially in cold weather. Franklin balls, dirt balls, they break real quick. I said, well, I'll make a ball, you beat the heck out of it. So anyway, that's how we did it. So what's interesting about this whole thing was, even though we just started shipping these last year, we now have LED version. You don't have to mess with the stick. Now this would be my Cadillac version right here, okay? This I hit into a wood backboard over 1,000 times. Did not break the light, let alone the ball. Wasn't interested so much in that. I knew the ball was working because the pro balls made the same as pro balls. So this has a tiny little LED, lightning diode, little battery, and I'm going to market it both as LED, like my pickleball, but I also am gonna market it as the electron, like my sports ball, for baseball, softball, lacrosse, field hockey, tennis, offshore cricket, and there's about 8 million paddle or padel players, which is like a tennis court, smaller. I think it's 25% less enclosed by fence. But anyway, the reason I'm going sports ball is because it gives me like over 50 million when you add in the pickleball. So it's about 40 million players of the other sports excluding pickleball. So that's how that's gonna work. So what I told you about Izzo right now is pitching Walmart in that 2-back room there. And Dick's Sporting Goods, my reps are handling Target. Target will make a decision this month. But in the meantime, I went out and I found, I said, okay, who's dominant player in the football market? And I found out it was Paddle Tech out of Michigan, 43% market share. One day I called the CEO and I said, hey, Curtis, what do you think of lighted pickleballs? He said, oh, that's pretty cool. Send me a couple samples to test. Get back to it. Anyway, he said, we like it. So Curtis made his own package, just like Jeff did, Izzo, like the gumballs. And he put, this is a 3-pack, he put sticks in here. Now, Izzo is going to go to, like I just said, Walmart, Dick's, because they have a lot of muscle. They already got like 18 SKUs in Walmart. You kind of have to pick out who you will really want to do the double play with, you know, who's got the most muscle. So that's, I'm sorry, go ahead, Alexa.
Good.
Okay, yeah. I think it's very important to decide who you're going to partner up with, you know, because you don't want to get a partner that says they're going to do a lot and then they don't, or they don't pay any royalties, or they go, oh my God, we just had COVID, the forecast out of Wall Street, big recession, 2023, we're going to cut back our ads, our D money's not there. We love your idea, we just can't do it until 2026. You're like, are you kidding me? That's why in those clauses in your license agreement, the guaranteed minimum is absolutely essential, because if they don't hit the guaranteed minimum, that's a major breach of contract, okay? So you can take them right down the street here and sue them. I don't think we'll get that far, but you know, most of the companies don't want bad press, especially these days. You light them up on social media. You know, you could say Ford trucks are terrible, you know, right across the board, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Because I like fishing, this is my prototype, and I'm going to do talking autographed fish, because now when your granddaughter catches her first fish, you record the message here, photograph goes right here for a holding fish. So there's big numbers there. So 48 million American fishermen, people, I should say. So again, going back to baseball, my first love, you have mom, dad, and their high school son. And he can hit balls out of Little League field. Okay, mom's in the outfield, because guess what? Dad's pitching, right? So I think, oh, okay, I want to make baseballs die around the infield. You know, where the dirt is, ladies, the infield, not to insult you, but that's in the dirt. That's why when the balls go out, die, gone. I can get them pretty much dying, I mean, like a dying quail, but the inertia kept going, okay? I'm going, man, that's not really what I'm looking for. So sometimes that idea you have, it, you like flip it, 100%, flip it. You go in this direction, you pivot, go this direction, right? All of a sudden, now you got it. So I'm messing with baseballs when I should be messing with bats, okay? But that never occurred to me until I'm like, okay, I guess I hit the wall. I can't do dying baseballs in the infield. So what I did was, I decided I'm going to make this bat. It's going to kill a baseball. Just like that. So this has a 1/2-inch fiberglass rod surrounded by urethane foam. Okay. So now, when that high school boy hits that ball, this bat's going to bend. Urethane foam is going to absorb the inertia. And he'd be lucky. I mean, he'd be thrilled if he could hit it hit them all out of Lily Field. So the lesson there is maybe you're approaching the problem just a little bit the wrong way. I mean, maybe you need to just kind of flip your thinking around a bit.
Corky, you want to take some questions?
Sure.
Somebody's got to have questions, 'cause I know I have a lot.
I've got one, have you, investigated ping pong?
Joe, I did, somebody beat me to it. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't make a better ping pong ball. I know they do have pigment, ping pong balls. that
I
you can
thought
charge.
maybe like a lighted strip on each side of the half of the table, to light the table.
Yeah,
The glow stick up to the paddle.
yeah, I think if you Google lighted ping pong tables and lighted ping pong balls, you're gonna see quite a bit. Yeah, I did that. And somebody asked me the other day to, what I just told you, I knew years ago was out there. And somebody last year asked me about the same concept, and I Googled it, and I'm like, wow, I mean, where do you see the tables? It looks like a dance floor, psychedelic dance floor, how the whole pattern of the table changes, multicolored lights. It knocked your lights out. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to just go play on the darn thing, you know what I mean?
So could you just use that same technology that you're using?
I think they probably impregnate ping pong balls, whatever they're molding the ping pong balls out of. I think they impregnate it with the pigment I put in my golf balls.
I have one more question. It looks like you have a lot of products because you have a lot of ideas. And when you have your first idea for a new product, how long does it take you to go from your first idea to the actual packaging and shipping it out?
That's a good question. The answer, what's your name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan, that's a good idea. I mean, good question. It's a difficult answer because everyone is different, okay? Now, George wanted me to talk about Andy, who hopefully is listening. I think she is, Andy Chattis. So when George told me I should meet Andy, he said, I must have said I made the pickleballs. He said, oh, I have a young lady that I'd like you to meet. And so I said, okay, great. So I call up Andy and we meet, and I said, what do you want to do? And she goes, well, I got this new idea. It's going to make every pickleball player absolutely improve. I can't say what it is because it's a killer. So I said, okay, let's see what we can do. So somewhere around here, you saw that initial polycarbonate spun golf ball, right? So I called that machine shop that made that golf ball for me in 1985. Okay, father Maurice was retired, but the son was there. So I go, Dave, you're not going to believe this, but your dad made my first prototype golf balls. I have somebody with a pickleball idea who'd come over and meet you. He goes, absolutely, come on over. So again, it's gonna be nice to everybody. You never know when you're going back. So we go over there. And long story short, Dave, in the last whatever it is, like George said, I've only known George a couple of months. Probably Andy, maybe I don't know, 6, 7 weeks. Dave is now got probably the 3rd generation of her invention that's just about ready to manufacture in 7 weeks. Now, I told you what those light alcohols, now they were pain in the neck. Even those Dow chemical engineers are going, you boys are whistling Dixie, you know what I mean? There's no way you're gonna mold that part and put a tunnel in there. 10 months later, we had it. My pickleballs, I have to look on my calendar, but I'd say between my first CAD/CAM drawings, prototypes, getting the balls, testing them, there's a whole bunch of formulations I had to do. At least a year to get it right. I mean, and here I am. I just showed you those LED balls. Okay, well, 2 months ago was March. So from the time Billy McGahee and Fort Myers said, hey, you should make the LED footballs. Now I have my 2nd generation, the LED version. Okay, 2 years and 2 months later. All right. So I believe there's a lot of luck involved. You know, you gotta meet the right people along the way. And I've been real fortunate with the people I've been able to meet. Now, with that said, you can make your own luck. I do believe that too. You know, if you sit in your house and you think, well, I get a great idea, but I'm not gonna tell anybody about it. You're probably gonna sit there a long time.
Made you unlike with Sumner Road, so Redstone.
What was
You
that?
walked into Sumner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was you made you.
Yeah, right. Great point. I appreciate it. I think, how much time do I have, George?
Say, anybody have more that I could sit here and listen all night, you know?
So that's,
Corky,
that's a
one
great point.
one of the things that you and I had talked about with, you know, a lot of people, first times, first idea and things like that. You were, when did you know you wanted to do this? That's what I want to know. Because sometimes people have one idea and it won't work, and that'll be the last they ever do it.
That's a good idea. I think I forgot to bring out one of my products out here. But now that you said it, I should. I think I have it here. Okay, so one of my points I was going to bring up, now that George brought it up, was how did I do this? I mean, how did I start this? I did mention I was working for Sonesta Hotels. So all my family are soldiers. And I was lucky. I had friends go to Vietnam, didn't come back. But my great-great-grandfather, he almost died at Allegheny Mills, June 27, 1862. Okay. My grandfather fought the Germans, World War I. My father fought the Japanese. My Uncle Bud shot his way across France and Germany. So believe me, I've heard a lot of war stories growing up. And that kind of molded me. I think it molded my mind and my drive and motivation. Because they're my motivators. So anyway, I went to the battlefield where my great-great-grandfather was wounded twice, north of Richmond. And my brother and I, we hunted for bullets. We found just about everything. That's metal, the metal detectors, bullets, a lot of coins, a lot of buttons, pieces of cannonballs, a lot. So anyway, I got a lot of bullets. And then I found relic hunters. Found relic hunters to dig up more bullets. So I ended up with a couple 100,000 bullets. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna put a line together. I'm gonna embed them. This is a paperweight, but then I had letter openers, I had bottle openers, I had lighters, that flicker letter guy. I didn't have a spinner on it. I had pen and pencil sets, I had magnifiers. So anyway, my boss had sent me to Dallas one day. I was pitching Southwest Meatpacker Association up there. I went across the street to Neiman Marcus, and I called earlier. I just came up there, see a buyer, and he goes, "Oh, this is cool." He said, "We're coming into bicentennial. Now, this is May of '74." He said, "We'll stick this in the Neiman Marcus Christmas catalog, and we'll put them on stores too." So anyway, all of a sudden, these bullets were going nuts. So I get the fever. To answer your question, George, that's when I thought, I'm not booking any more conventions of a hotel. Semester, go find somebody else. I'm gonna go sell bullets. So I go in, I talk to my boss. He's a great boss. Just love that guy. No one passed away, unfortunately. He became president of Burger King. That's how smart he was. His name is Barry Conrad. You can look him up. He went to Croatia with Secretary of Commerce Ron Brown. And unfortunately, nobody came back. But anyway, Barry, he taught me a lot. And I went in, I said, "Barry, you know what? I love working for you. I love you. It's great, fantastic. I gotta go sell my bullets." He goes, "You're crazy, but good luck." So anyway, that's how that happened. To answer your question, Bill. I want to make a couple of key points here. If you have time, maybe might help you. I was standing on the 50-yard line in Sullivan Field, you know, where they are, the Chicago Bears. I had gotten 50 boys to practice pass patterns. You don't laugh at this. The night before. So we were gonna do button hooks, okay? And so I got 25 boys going out, 25 boys acting as quarterbacks. They're gonna do slants, they're gonna do long bombs, and then the finale of the halftime show is they're gonna throw the balls into the stands. It's that light football I showed you with the batteries, right? So I'm on the 50-yard line, everything was, oh, it was cool. I mean, you could hear the crowd was loving it, football's going nuts, you know. All of a sudden, the crowd loved those footballs so much. They came out of the stands tackling my high school boys. I remember these two great big guys, like, it seemed like they were 6'6". I'm only 5'9" now, 5'10" originally. They come up to me and said, "Give me that football, boy." I said, "Here you go." I used to see those guys in my dreams. But for every negative, there's a positive, you know, the silver lining. Because the next day in the Chicago Tribune, it said, "UFOs invade Soldier Field, right at the curbside." So not everything is a train wreck. You can just, if you can, you know, just kind of hunt around for it, you know. So I'm down in Tampa at the Cincinnati Reds spring training camp. I'm trying to get my automatic curveball and automatic slider going. Now, if George's coach at Hero High School, first thing he's going to ask me is, do these work? Okay, so I believe the best thing to do is get testimonials and credibility as fast as you can, right? So whoever that runs that show, you know, Home Improvement, forget the guy's name, he was in one of those Santa Claus movies, Tim.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, so Tim goes, "Oh my God, you're not gonna believe this, but I just put up 4 of the most amazing hangers in my wife's closet. It's been on my tail since last 4th of July." Now, Tim, I mean, he's basically your best friend, I mean. So in order to convince George that my curveballs work, I need credibility. I need the highest level of credibility, okay? I go to Florida, I've already sent balls to all the camps. So all I'm gonna do is hopefully show up and take orders. That's what I think, right? So I called Cincinnati Reds, and this is back in the days of the Big Red Machine. If you follow baseball, you probably know Johnny Bench, Pete Rose, Sparky Anderson was the manager, okay? And I think I was talking to a chief scout by the name of Shore, a little fuzzy on that. But anyway, he says, "Corky, you can come by, but the balls don't work." Excuse me? "The balls don't work." I said, "Okay, I'll be by." Now, at age 26, I'm walking into the Cincinnati Reds clubhouse. First guy I see is Pete Rose, there's Johnny Bench, and Sparky Anderson comes up to me, and he said, "Oh, you're the kid with the automatic curveballs, sliders?" I said, yes, sir, Mr. Anderson. He said, "Well, come on out, now we'll show you. You just can't control it." I said, "Okay." So I got my suit on, and I'm catching somebody. I know he's big, he's fast, but I don't worry about catching him because balls are over my head, balls left, balls right, balls in the dirt. It's crazy, you know? So he said, "Newcomb, let's see you do it." Now, I'm no hot shot pitcher, but I sort of could throw strikes. I pitched in high school and college. And I'm throwing the breaking balls, curveball, screwball, sinker, slider, right? They're over at shortstop and they come over and go, "Oh my God, Corky, this is Marky Anderson, first class gentleman." He goes, "We're so embarrassed." He said, I'm sorry." I said, "Well, what happened, Mr. Anderson?" He goes, "Well, you know, I had the baseballs packed in the old conventional square baseball box that Major League Baseballs come in, right?" So he says, "Those balls got here. Somebody told the BP guy, yeah, just put them in the garbage cans with all the other practice balls." And he said, "We threw away your boxes and your directions, and we just put the balls in the BP buckets." So that big lesson there, big moral of that story is to get everything right. I mean, absolutely everything. Your homework, your pricing, your packaging, your ad campaign. One little part is missing, all right? As fundamental as, how do you put that hanger up again? You know what I mean? And everything goes to hell in a handbasket. So it sounds like, oh, that won't happen. You know, and I'm not just saying about directions, I'm just saying some little minute piece of the machinery in your presentation and execution of the marketing may blow everything all the hell. Right? You gotta be real careful about that. All right, just a couple tips for you, kind of like words of wisdom that I wrote down that I not to leave in, doesn't mean that you have to, but the first one is be nice to everyone, but wait for no one. So what I mean by that, okay, so all of a sudden, you've got Carpetone makes a first name is Michael, we love it. We think we can do probably 50 million units a year. Okay, and we're gonna give you 50 cents per bottle for two. You get all excited, all right? But Michael, we need probably a year, 18 months for a marketability feasibility study, okay? So that time goes by. They call you up, they say, Michael, listen, change of ownership. We got a board of directors. We can't do any products, stock market went to hell. We're in a recession now, as you know, in 2023. It's all hypothetical conjecture now. We like your idea, okay? I'm not saying we're not gonna do it, but we can't do it probably for the next 2 years. So you just burned 12 months, 18 months, which is your right. I'm not saying it's not your right to do it, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying in the meantime, what I would tell somebody, like I told some of these other people, you can take as long as you want. You can do it till the cows come home. But in the meantime, I have to support my family and I need to shop it around. Now, most people are going to be reasonable about that, all right? And what that does, it does two things. One, it gives you freedom, but number two, puts the heat on them. Okay, maybe it won't take a year and 18 months. Maybe they're going to call you in 3 months and say, Michael, you know what? We're pulling the trigger. Come on in, sign the license agreement. But that's just my personal experience. So, second point is, if you never quit, big things will happen. I mean, it sounds pretty fundamental, but I think a good analogy, I teach invention seminars in the schools. And I'm a judge for the USPTO National Invention Competition. I try to tell the kids, look, you go to the movies, right? It's a good movie. What do the kids watch these days? I don't know. Maybe Star Wars. Are you going to walk out of Star Wars in the last 20 minutes? What's going on? Are you crazy? I'm not going to walk out in the last 20 minutes. Okay, fast forward. Now, this is your life we're talking about right now. Okay. Are you going to walk out on that invention with 20 minutes to go when the ladder has 15 rungs and you're at the 14th and you say, that's it, I've had it, I'm maxed out, I hit the wall, I'm done. So I think that I know that movie now gets to the kids because they don't want to leave that movie. They're never going to find out. Well, what is the movie of their life they're talking about? You know what I mean? You're never going to know what the end of the movie is. That's the analogy I try to do. Now, the pulses are very important. What I mean by pulses is, sorry, gentlemen, what? Warren. All of a sudden, Warren, you get a bite from Home Depot, okay? Basically, we want to test it. All right, that to me is a pulse, right? You're going to pour more gas on the fire, the stronger the pulse of the invention is beating, okay? That will accelerate your next action step, okay? So all of a sudden, Lowe's calls. Oh my God, now you got two gods of the construction business going, you know? Now that Tim Allen calls you, go, Warren, could you go out to Hollywood and we do a segment? We love your ideas. Oh my God, that's another pulse. The faster the invention pulse is beating, the more gas you would pour on it. Now, you're not doing this haphazardly, like you're just winging it. You're measuring the pulses. my marketing teacher, VP marketing in the Whittemore Business School, where I went to school, University of New Hampshire, he was a World War II vet. Now, he gave us the analogy this. He said, boys and girls, I want you to test, I want you to test, and you test again. By doing that, you don't get your legs blown off. I think he said that because he fought World War II, you know what I mean? But I never forget that one. You know, that's a pretty good analogy. You know, so I try to do my homework religiously on all my inventions. What time, George?
We get,
Okay.
yeah.
Last thing I will tell you this is that if you have any problems along the way that I can try to answer, not in a 5,000 word email, but I'm glad to try to shed some light on your problem. I won't tell you I know the answers, but I've seen just about everything that has popped up as far as manufacturing some type of invention along the way. Anyway, thank you very much.
Please, before you go, we have plenty of food. Take some map up some food. Pull out some aluminum foil and things like that. I want to leave it. You can use it, take it. If not, leave it. Please, take some. Thank you very much, everybody.